Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie.
Attention, all true believers. Marvel Comics is on the air.
A friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle.
Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality. Faster than an airplane, more powerful than a locomotive, impervious to bullets.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, the internet? Those of you who showed up looking for Miss Jen are going, what the heck is this? Well, I will tell you. Miss Jen has had a kind of a crazy day. She's had a wild schedule. So I am filling in. Yay! No, I apologize in advance for being me and not being her. That said, we're going to do what's in the box. And by what's in the box, I mean what's in this box. I kind of know what was in this box. But I have another box here that I'm not really sure what's in. Actually, I know what's in it. Anyway, we're going to do what's in the box. We're going to do trade paperbacks, hardcovers. We might get some silver and bronze going here. What up, Jackie? What up, Preston? What up, Mike? I see Mike's going through some stuff, man. Mike, hope everything works out, man. If you need some comics to relieve the stress, just holler at your boy. But we are going to do trades and hardcovers. The sale that I've been promising everybody for weeks that I did last night and I did again today. And I've got more. So we're going to do what's in the box. We're just going to do it a little differently. And I have a guest host. So stick around and I will bring that guy on screen here in just about 36 seconds.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
We know what's in the box. It's trade paperbacks and hardcovers. We just don't know what they are. So I'm going to introduce my guest, my special guest host, somebody who's come around to hang out with me and talk to me about stuff and keep me on track. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Hutchison, the man held responsible for Big Dog Inc.
I got to keep you on track. It's hard enough to keep myself on the track, man.
Now that's fair. Everybody, a lot of y'all know Tom. He's been around the EXP a bunch. He's been guests a bunch of times. But if you don't know Tom, he is what is your official title? Everything under the sun at Big Dog Inc.
Everything except the art at Big Dog Inc.
There you go.
Yes.
Everything except the art at Big Dog Inc.
Yeah.
Tom also wrote, what was the book you did with Dynamite last year?
I wrote a Bad Kitty one shot, rebranding, bringing back Bad Kitty with Dynamite. And I actually have another book that I'm writing for Dren Publications that we've been talking about a little bit. It'll be later this year. I don't know exactly when they're dropping it, but I'm doing part of their, what I have dubbed for them, and I should get royalties for this, the Planiverse, because it's a Plan 9 from Outer Space universe. So it's Plan 9, Plan 19, Plan 29, Plan 39 from outer space. And I am writing Plan 39 from outer space, which is an 80s alien invasion, storyline that is super fun. The first issue is already done. We're doing colors on it. It looks fantastic. And it'll be a 3-issue mini that we're doing with them, with Mike Dolce and Dren Publications. So something else on the horizon.
That is dope. Yeah, no, guys, again, Miss Jen is stuck in her storage unit dealing with a pallet of inventory that she did not expect to have to deal with today. So I am here. We're going to do trades. We're going to do hardcovers. We're going to do trades. Here's the deal. I've been doing this for 2 days now. It's going to be the same as it's been. If the book was $10 or $20 or less to begin with, it's going to be $5 on the show. If the book was $20 or more to begin with, it's going to be $10 on the show. If it's this size, walking omnibus, true storage unit problems going around all day today. If it's this size, if it's omnibus size, we're going to do at least 55% off, maybe more depending on the condition of the book. Everything is super readable. Nothing is that beat up. But, if I've got some spine dings or a little bit of wrinkling on the cover or whatever, we'll take some more off. TJ wants to know who's writing Plan 69 from Outer Space.
Yeah, that's the basic bitch question. Everybody asks that question.
Right. I feel like the answer to that is Pat Shand.
All I can tell you is that it is being done. Is not being done by me, but I know that it is being done. Actually, they just did. I think they have one more issue of Plan 79 from Outer Space. They did the first issue like late last year, so they're wrapping up Plan 79, and then Plan 39 will be mine. Like I'm thinking August, something like that.
There you go. I'm excited. I like this idea. Like I know Planet 9 really well. I've read it. Followed those guys for a few years now. It might have even been you who put me onto them. I don't remember. Somebody put me onto them. I've followed them for a couple years now. Very excited to see you write that. So let's get into the selling, shall we? I'm going to press the magic buttons. Boom. So Tom is nice and big there in the corner, but you can still see the product. And I'm going to start showing you all some trades, and we're going to start talking about some of these folks and doing some of this work. So, okay. The things I didn't prepare are the things I didn't prepare because I wasn't doing this 4 hours ago. Okay. We're going to start. This is from Image Comics, Volume 1, The Haunted Heist, Josh Williamson, Goran Saduzka. I don't remember. Ghosted, Volume 1. This is pretty early Josh Williamson.
Yeah, it is. That's got to be at least 10 years old.
Pretty early Josh Williamson. It's going to be $5. For those of you who are my horror anthology homies, this is what I like to call the Inception cover. Ice Cream Man Volume 8 trade paperback. Ice Cream Man, is the horror anthology series. That is going to also be $5. W. Maxwell Prince writing that. This is a
Preston,
book.
Preston, if you need Oz books, you can go to our website, bigdoginc.com. Depending on what it is you're missing or trying to finish your run, like single issues or trades or whatever, let me know what you're actually looking for, and I can tell you what we've got, and we can figure it out for you.
Dope. See, this is what I like, is it's like, oh, we can do business, for Big Dog Inc. We could do business for Preston. We could take care of what, Preston's a great collector. He's got a lot of good shit, so. Oh, I just swore too early in the show. Oh, well, what are you going to do? This is Olympian's Aphrodite, the Goddess of Love. I have no idea what this book is. It's by New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor. I mean, I know what Aphrodite is, but I do not know this particular book. The art in it, pretty good. But that book is going to be $5. I dropped the Post-it note with the price on it, so I'm going to have to make another one because I'm not bending over. Tom, how long have you guys been doing Legend of Oz now?
Next year will be 15 years for the book.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I knew it had been better part of over a decade.
Yeah, it was our third series. And it started at the very tail end of 2011.
Man. Okay. All right. BPRD, Hell on Earth, Volume 5. This is Mike Mignola, John Arcudi, Lawrence Campbell, Peter Stenberg, Dave Stewart, and Julian Tedesco. BPRD, Hell on Earth. This is a big, thick book, guys. $10 on that. course, I put the 10 upside down because, of course, I did.
So, Preston, you've got 5 of the series. Do you mean you've got like 5 single issues, or you have 5 trades? Because there are 5 trades currently for the series. If you just have 5 sort of issues, it'll depend on what you're looking for. There is a bunch that we have up there, but like I just said, the book's 15 years old now, the series. So a lot of that stuff is long gone, hard to find. 5 single issues. Okay, yeah. So go check out the website and see what's there. And then whatever you're missing beyond that, so here's the breakdown, Preston. It's 1 through 6. That's the original miniseries. Okay. And then we brought it back as an ongoing series, and we have now done 1 through 25. So that is what exists. What is actually on the website is going to be kind of up in the air to whatever we happen to have left. I know we've got some old variants as opposed to just like the regular, retail store issues, but we do have some retail store issues as well. So just go look and see what we can do for you. And then if you got questions, hit me up.
All right. So, guys, we'll give you another second on these while I get the next set ready. Tom, you guys have a killer group of artists that work on Big Dog Ink books. Nii Rufino, Mike Chrome, some really great artists. Is there an artist that you would love to get to do something that you've never gotten? Like,
plenty.
Alive or dead? Like,
yeah, plenty. The top of the list is Arthur Adams, Todd McFarlane, Adam Hughes. Those guys sit at the top of the bucket list. So, what I don't think Todd is ever going to be an option. He has no reason to do anything like that. Art, I'm sure, is probably doable, but there's going to be a large monetary barrier in that regard, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then Adam kind of does stuff from time to time. It's just kind of whatever he kind of vibes on, he's kind of game to do some stuff. So, he did a Lady Death cover a couple of years ago. So, I think he's probably, of the 3, he's probably the most possible to get. But yeah, now there's plenty of guys. Like I just got to work recently with Joe Chiodo, artist from the 90s, like Top Cow, and he did some Marvel stuff too, of course. But so I just got to work with Joe Chiodo, which was great. Juan Jose Rip, who's been doing stuff forever, all the way back to like old Coffin days and stuff. Juan Jose Rip's doing covers for us now. So yeah, I'm definitely dipping backwards into some of these old school guys, which is a lot of fun. And I still like finding the new guys too. Somebody wants your Ice Cream Man book.
Yep. Lorena, you got it. Welcome in, Lorena and Nope. Different inventory tonight, guys. New books that you haven't seen last night, or if you're on my CBSN show earlier, you haven't seen any of this stuff. This is all new. I went back and grabbed new stuff from the inventory. If you see something you want and I take it off the screen before you get a chance to claim it, just yell and I will grab it for you.
Yes, TJ Chiodo did do knockout covers. Yeah, he did a few of those covers. Yeah, it was great. Like that was just a crazy like reach out. That was one of the crazy things about social media, right? It's just like, hey, Joe Chiodo's on Facebook. I wonder if I should like send him a message. And that's all I did. I was like, hey, love your stuff. I don't know what you're doing. If you're game for covers, I'd love to have you on there. And we got 2 covers out of him. So that was amazing.
I love social media for that.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, Critical Role, Tales of Exandria, the Bright Queen. This is Matt Mercer and a bunch of the people who are involved in the Critical Role series working on this book. Tales of Exandria, Bright Queen, $5. Ta-Nehisi Coates and Brian Stelfreeze. Love Brian, great artist. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a wonderful writer. Black Panther, One Nation Under Our Feet. A Nation Under Our Feet. This is Black Panther, Volume 1 of Ta-Nehisi Coates' run. This was the series that introduced me to the term Black Futurism or Afrofuturism. There are a bunch of names that they use in the Black Comics universe world to talk about what this series is, but I just think it's a pretty good Black Panther story. All right. I don't know anything about this book, and I will say that. This is one that, if it doesn't get claimed, I have no problem taking it home and reading it, but I want to give you guys a chance on it. It's science fiction fantasy. This is from Image Comics, First Knife. Cover art's pretty cool looking. In the hot ruins of a far future North America, a slave stumbles across an ancient and bloody power. A conqueror bargains with godlike beings. A soldier tries to bring back his lost world. As a full moon approaches, the remaining humans on Earth find themselves standing between the forces that once nearly destroyed it. Interesting concept, I suppose. Again, this is one that I will be happy to take home and read if nobody claims it. $5. And one I don't need to take home and read, but you guys should, because I've read this already. The Tiny Onion, Something is Killing the Children, Volume 4. Something is Killing the Children, Volume 4 will be $5. $5 on Something is Killing the Children, Volume 4. Have you read Something is Killing the Children, Tom?
Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah?
Well, I should say I read the first trade. That's all I've done. So I don't know how it continues on, but it's not for me.
It's one of those that that if it isn't, again, if it's for you, it's really for you, and if it's not, it's really not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not one of these, again, like Black Panther, maybe, that can kind of ride the middle. There'll be stories that you like and stories that you don't.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of that's just, in the case of like Marvel and DC and stuff, like that's all character driven. You either like the character or you don't, and then you can kind of suffer through bad stories, and then you get the good story. Like I was a Wonder Woman fan for years and years and years and years. And so, I would kind of stumble through like, this is not a great period of time, but then, it would change up and we'd be like, oh, this is a great period of time. So, but with indie stuff, if you don't have a connection to what's happening right away, you're just not going to have interest to latch on and keep going.
That's true. I got you. Nope. With First Knife.
It was kind of like with Invincible. Like I remember people were talking about it. I wasn't buying the book, and then I bought the first trade and I read it. And I was kind of like, I was skeptical. I was like, this was okay, but why are people talking about this? At the time, they were on like volume 5 or 6 or something, and so I was like, all right, give me one more, and then we that got us into the whole, Nolan twist. I won't say other things because people don't know yet. And then at that point, Ryan Otley came around. The art kind of peaked up as well. And I was like, okay, give me one more. And I was into, volume 3, and then I was in. Then I was golden. But I'm a big superhero fan, and I like the way that, Kirkman was building the world. So the door was kind of open. With Something Killing the Children, again, I went in because people were talking about it, but there was just nothing to connect me to it. So I was like, nah, this one's not for me.
Yeah, and it's one of those, I didn't like it really until the 3rd volume.
See, and that makes it really hard, man. Like you're spending $15 a book on some of these cases to get to something that maybe you now like that's a hard ask. Like people drop TV shows after 2 episodes, because there's just too much else to watch anyway. It's like, why am I investing my time into this TV show when there's 8,000 other shows to watch?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way. It's like, I don't like whatever this is going on. So give me something else.
All right, let's throw up Department of Truth, another Tiny Onion book. Department of Truth, Volume 2, City Upon a Hill. The reason I made it to Volume 3 is I didn't read Volume 2. I read Volume 1 and went, yeah, okay, this is all right.
You skipped? All right.
And then Sean Butler, who's a regular here on The Experience, was like, bro, you got to try it again. And by that point, they had developed some mythos.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
That I found interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
fair.
it's, this is a backstory of a character that I haven't met because I didn't read the last volume.
Yep.
Well, let me go back and get Volume 2 and get this introduction. I'm like, okay, you've built out a world now that is something bigger than what it seemed like it would be. And that was what got me. But I still only read it in trade and still claim that James Tynion is writing too much for everything to be good. And this is one of those books that sometimes is maybe a little iffy. All right. This is a book where nobody wears a whole lot of clothes.
Fill that gap. Fill that gap. You can't have gaps on TV. Let's go.
Lords of Mars. Not John Carter, Warlord of Mars. The Lords of Mars. So you got John Carter. You got Deja Thoris. You got... I can't remember the third guy's name.
You got the White Apes of Mars.
Yep, I can't remember the third guy's name.
Is that a Jisco cover?
Mm-hmm. That it looks like a Jisco cover. I don't know. Steven, we're doing media rate shipping, so it'll be like $10. Oh, huh. I flipped to the back of the book and there's just a pair of boobs staring at me.
So that trade is now $6.
No, it's still gonna be $5.
You gotta upsell,
Alex Ross.
upsell. Oh, Alex Ross.
Ross.
Okay. All right. There you go.
That is an Alex Ross cover. But yeah, Steven, it's gonna be what's what I'm looking for? Media rate shipping, so about $10. Unless your media rate shipping is like, unless you buy like 40 pounds of books. We're going to be right about $10 for media rate shipping. All right.
See, upsell. Look, Lord of Mars is gone. Upsell.
Lord of Mars, you got it. You got it there, Nopey. All right. Stranger Things goes to Science Camp. Stranger Things Science Camp. This is Jody Hauser written. It's going to be $5. Matt Kint, Trevor Harshen. This is a Valiant book, but it's a volume 1. This is Eternity from Valiant. That's going to also be $5. Should we do an omnibus?
Yeah, because I like those. What do you got? Omni-wise.
All right. This book is going to be $25.
Oh, dang.
Charlie Adlard, Robert Kirkman, lettered by Cliff Rathburn.
That sounds like Walking Dead.
Walking Dead Compendium, Volume 4, regularly $60.
Good old phone books. You gotta love a Walking Dead phone book. Can't even put it on the easel; it's
so thick.
Yeah,
$25. And then this next book is going to be $10 because it was more of an expensive trade than I remember it being. But I'm sure I paid this when it came out. Garth Ennis, Craig Cermak, Dynamite Comics, Red Team. Craig is one of those artists that like I don't know what he's done lately, but I really like Craig Cermak's art.
I am not familiar with that name at all.
He was one of the first sort of realistic digital artists.
Okay.
But he had a really good use of red when it came to blood. He understood how blood should look in a book in a way that I really appreciated. As a person who reads a lot of books with a lot of blood. Because, you know, Miss Jen and Shanice and the other people around here who do reviews, maybe not so much a fan of the blood. So I was like, Kyle, this book looks messed up. You should read it. Okay. Then I go to therapy and I'm like, they made me read a book about serial killers that I identified with. I don't like it. But
I like that Eternity cover. That's a well-designed cover.
It really is. I like the simplicity of it, but you know 100% what it is, right? Like, you know, this is sci-fi, high fantasy.
Yeah, it's a good logo too.
Mm-hmm. I have not watched the Enola Holmes stuff, TJ. What's that even on at this point? I don't even remember.
I think that's a Netflix thing.
Oh, see, I got Netflix back for a month when Raw went there, so I could watch WWE. And then I didn't like what they were doing with it, so
Netflix is like the only one that it's the only one that I maintain regularly. Like, I've got Amazon right now, but every time I go on Amazon, I'm like, there's nothing here.
I'm doing a rewatch of the old Sci-Fi Channel shows on Amazon. So Warehouse 13 and Eureka and, you know, some of those.
I did just rewatch Battlestar on Amazon. I have the Blu-rays, so I don't need to do it, but it was just convenient that it was there. So I'm like, all right, click it. Let's go.
Prime Video also has a lot of the old-timey cop shows.
Sure. Oh, it has a lot of stuff. It's just like I either have it on Blu-ray and I'm like, why would I watch it? I have the Blu-ray. Or I'm just not, that's not for me.
When I get depressed, I like old-timey cop shows because when you hear the way they talk, like on Adam 12.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that makes no sense, right?
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of, so if you go to Tubi has a ton of like movie and comic book documentaries, like a ton of them. Some of them are good, some of them are not as good, but that's kind of where I've been at lately, is kind of diving into that stuff, especially since I'm really starting to lean into the idea of making a movie out of some of our stuff. So I've been watching a lot of like, how do you make these sort of low budget, micro budget types of films, or how do you get money to make a movie, so on and so on. So, yeah.
If only you knew somebody who was kind of like, I don't know, a filmmaker who.
Oh, I know plenty of filmmakers.
Had all kinds of equipment and.
Yeah, and I actually have two producers who have already approached me about, hey, send me this, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I also know that, you know, sometimes you got to just do it yourself. Like with comics, sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, we're going to do it ourselves.
Right. And that's one of the things that I will say I've always appreciated about you and Big Dog Inc., right? Is that when things, you've always been able to pivot just to go, F it, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
I remember when you stopped going through Diamond and we're just like, I'm going to self-distribute and we'll make it work. And it did. All right. Marvel Comics. This is Care Andrews, science fiction. You want to think this is classic, but it's not as classic as you'd think. This is from 2021, but it looks classic. Amazing Fantasy.
Oh yeah. I just had some of those single issues on my show and I thought it was older, and I was like, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh damn, no, this is new.
That's Carrie Andrews, right?
Yeah. All
right. If you like purple people who stick, or blue people who stick their hair together to fornicate, I don't know. Avatar: The Next Shadow.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
If you want to spend enough money to cure world hunger on a movie, Avatar: The Next Shadow, there you go. No, I'm not throwing shade at James Cameron at all. No, not at all.
I don't believe
All
those
right.
ticket sales at all. I think that's a totally fake. I think that's like a real legit conspiracy theory. Is like it made $2 billion, but nobody talks about these movies. Nobody comes out going, "Oh, it's so great," but it made $2 billion. Like, come on.
It's true. All right, all new Firefly. This is David Boer, Jordi Perez. This is the hardcover. I will tell you that there is a little bit of a dent there in the spine, but again, $5 for a hardcover.
That's all right.
Yeah, totally readable, totally doable.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about the Smurfs, Preston. And then this is part 2 of Firefly. It's a different series. This is Greg Pak and Lalit Kumar Sharma. This is New Sheriff in the Verse. This is a paperback. Trade paperback. Also $5. Never made it through the second Avatar movie. Never saw the first one, actually.
I look back on Avatar and I feel like that was the moment where I realized that shit is too hyped.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started for me, because I came out of that movie going, yeah, it was okay, but why is it making $1 billion? I don't get it. And I think I track that back to hashtag Tom Hates Everything. I track back my time of watching films, and I think Avatar was where it really kind of started. You know, the Winona Earp movie, I haven't finished the series yet. I have to get back and finish the series before I watch that. But the chick who plays Winona, she was kind of like, why are we making this movie? Like, our series did an ending, like we were fine. So she was like really not into doing the movie, which is kind of strange.
Who played Winona Earp? I forget.
I can't think. I don't know any of their names. I haven't watched that show in too long.
TJ, no.
But I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. I think I got through season 3, so I didn't see season 4. And there was a lot of delays with it too. It was coming back. It's not coming back. And then it did. So I just haven't finished it yet. But yeah, when I saw that they did the movie, I assumed that it got canceled and they didn't get an ending to the series. That was my assumption. But apparently they did manage to kind of wrap it up, but then they did more. So
yeah, there you go. Melanie Scarafano. Yes, I liked her.
Yeah, she's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear you. I felt like that got Fireflied, right? Like they did the series and then it was like, hey, we're gonna do a movie. But yeah. All right. I'm going to do a whole bunch of omnibuses coming up here in a second.
Well, there's no Firefly flans here, so.
No. Apparently we can take the sky from these people. I am going to do an offer on one of these. I'm going to do a price on one of these books that I'm angry about, but I'm doing it anyway. All right. Matt Wagner.
Doing Grendel?
Grendel Omnibus, Volume 2.
Is that stuff that he was publishing at Comico?
That's Dark Horse.
It's a Dark Horse book, but is what's
right.
in it old Comico stuff, or, you know, it depends on how many issues are in these things.
Yes. This was the 40th anniversary re-release.
Okay.
So this is the Comico stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. $10.
Oh, that's nice.
This is Mike Mignola cover on this next book. Paul Tobin, Joe Chiaro, Peter Kowalski, Max Bertolini, Brad Simpson, with, again, a Mike Mignola cover. The Witcher Omnibus. Apparently you throw...
Is that the video game?
Yes, but then, they made the show with, what's his name?
With Superman?
Yeah, with not Superman anymore.
Uh-huh.
So apparently you throw a coin to that guy. I don't know. But that's going to be $10 as well.
Throw a coin to that guy. I got to put that on a shirt. That's going to drive people mad. Throw a coin to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's $1 million shirt. I'll give you $50.
That's fair. I'm good with that. This is I Kill Giants. Joe Kelly.
That got turned into a movie.
It did get turned into a movie, and this is celebrating the movie.
Oh, there you
go. This is a little bit of a weird size book, but super cool. $5 on that. And then this next
little fatter, huh?
Yeah, a little bit fatter. This next book is another one that won't fit on the easel. It's going to be $30, regularly $70. J. Michael Straczynski's Rising Stars Compendium, Volume 1.
Volume 1? They didn't even get it all in one thing? Jeez.
This book weighs a ton.
I can imagine.
$30.
I mean, the original miniseries, which is probably what that is, was like 24, 25 issues.
Something like that, yeah. All right, Lorena, you got it?
Witcher's out of here too.
Witcher goes to Lorena as well. Holding that J. Michael Straczynski book in one hand, like immediate lactic acid, like it's arm day at the gym.
Yeah, you just burn calories.
Yeah.
100%. You just burn calories. Yeah. See, that's the great thing about the omnibus books is that you burn calories while you're reading.
Is the entire... Yeah, there is no volume 2. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy Shore, Titan Comics, Texas. Great retailer. I wonder why they put volume 1 on there if they never made a volume 2. Did they mean to make a volume 2 and then just be like, forget it? Department of Truth, volume 4, Ministry of Lies.
What's trade this? Paperback. You haven't sorted these to get them together? Come on, man.
$5. I have, and now I'm not showing them in order.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those marketing things, I'm sure. I hear that. All right, this next book is about a group of vampires in West Texas that have found a way to live without being really found out. You got it, Nopey. Without being found out by eating cows, and then they get found out. Donnie Cates, Lissandro.
Redneck?
I can never get this right. It's Estherin? I don't know.
What?
Redneck Volume 1. Redneck Volume 1.
Yeah.
$5.
This is like a trivia challenge for me when you start naming names. It's like, okay, who is it? What is it? What's the book?
Yeah.
This is like weird comic book Jeopardy.
That's kind of how I like to play when I watch other people's shows too. It's like, okay, they're giving me an artist and a writer. Who do I know? What do I know?
Uh-huh.
All right.
My OCD is starting to go crazy, man. Straighten up your racks. You're getting all cockeyed and weird.
Well, it's because this thing weighs so much it won't stand up, but it won't stand up. So I'm going to replace that here in just a second. Miss Jen would want me to cover this up, this title up.
So this one's sold already. We got a boob book for you guys.
No. We got a cussy book.
Okay.
Kyle Starks, Artemian Topilin. I've met the guy. I should know how to say his name. This is Fudge This Place.
Uh-huh.
You know, Miss Jen doesn't like to swear. I want to say the word, but we're not going to, just out of respect for that. All right, now we're going to get this monster out of the way. Mike, how you doing, man? All right. This is the first thing I ever knew about that Kurt Pyers wrote. It's Black Mask Studios. Kurt has gone on to do... Nope is going to take Rising Stars. Okay. I'm going to need a bigger diamond box for Mr. Nope's claims from the last 2 days. He got the Saga Volume 1 omnibus last night. All right, for Kurt Pyers has gone on to write a bunch of other stuff that we've had him on the experience here. He does a lot of cool indie stuff. This is The Forevers. I'll read the back. 5 friends struggling on the brink of stardom sacrifice everything in a black magic pact that brings them all the wealth and glamour they ever wanted. But now, years later, the glow is fading. When one of them is killed in an accident, they each feel a pulse of magic rise in them. They realize the glow is spread evenly among the group, and if one dies, that power is suddenly passed to the rest. Suddenly, they are being hunted. One of them has decided to kill the rest and harness the remaining power. This is why you don't trust your friends, apparently.
Sort of a modified Highlander.
Yeah, there can be only 1 or 3, but if you're 3, the less power. All right. Grab Rising Stars for Mr. Nope. Oh! Okay. Next thing is a hardcover. Introduction by Kieran Gillen. This is early Rom V, guys. Rom has gone on to do a lot of stuff at DC, but this is real early Rom V. This is Gravity's Wall, hardcover. It's going to be $5. I can read the back if you want, but we're going to put that down here in place of Grendel. Like that. Okay, are we... All right, let me get everything lined up again.
Graffiti's Wall. Yes, thank you. There we go. Make it clean.
That looks better. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Do that. And if you want, I will go through the pile of stuff that has gone unclaimed. If you'd like to see that, I will go through the pile of stuff that has gone unclaimed tonight. Lorena is grabbing Redneck.
Lorena must have just bought a new bookshelf. Got to fill it up.
All right, this next book is also huge. And this next book is also one that I will not be angry if I don't sell. It's going to be $15 because it's an omnibus. Jason Lutz is the writer and artist of this book. It's been called one of the great epics of the comics medium, and I've never heard of this book, so I'm excited to read it. This is Berlin. Now, I think I know why they call it an epic. It is this style. It is of a certain age. It is of a certain look.
Yeah, but is it of a certain age?
It is.
Like is that 80s or 90s release?
1994.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But the art is of a certain of the style that would be for this era.
Yes.
In the world.
Yes.
It did take him. Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. It took 20 years to finish. We're gonna do Berlin for $15.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that I sort of keyed in on that. That actually sounds. I don't know the name, Jason Lutz, but I did recognize Berlin. Yeah. Someone just buy it so that Kyle can not have to deal with the rack. Somebody just buy it.
We're just gonna move it. All right, time to break into the second short box of trades here. Oh, hey. We had offered some of that the other night. Last call on F This Place and Graffiti's Wall. And on Black Mask's The Forevers. All right. This, I don't remember this book, but I feel like I should have. Because of when it came out. This is DC Vertigo. Now a major motion picture. The Kitchen?
Huh?
Yeah. This is in 1970s Hell's Kitchen. 3 gangsters' wives took over the Irish mob. This is their story. Ollie Masters, Ming Doyle, and Jordy Belair. $5. No, Mike, you email me. And by the way, I'm going to put the link in the chat here in just a second. You're going to fill out. It's actually Henri's link. Henri's helping me out by letting me use his link for my live sales right now until I get my own page built. But like, why would I spend time programming my own when I can just use Henri's?
The movie came out in 2019, and it's got the chick from Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men in it.
Oh,
I can't think of her name.
Elizabeth Moss.
I can't think of her. Yeah, Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, Elizabeth Moss, right. Tiffany Haddish, and Melissa McCarthy. Wow.
Huh. I feel like I should have seen that. I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Isola Volume 2 from Mish Comics. Isola Volume 2. $5.
You got to show the art on that, dude. That's crazy art.
Yeah, Isola is great art. Let me find something that's particularly killer here.
It's got like this
perfect
tiger with like glowing stripes and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, Isola was a really fun series. I really like that. Yeah, it is gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, this is a book that I waited a long time from issue 1 to issue 2. I mean, I think multiple years. And I'm also shocked this person has never done anything with Tom, to be real honest. Because it feels like somebody who would. Feels like a good fit. Especially back in the day. Joe Benitez.
Oh, I've worked with Joe.
Peter Steigerwald.
Yeah.
Lady Mechanica, Volume 1, trade paperback.
Yep. Yeah, Joe did a Legend of Oz cover for us. And Nei colored it.
That's right. Okay, I remember this now. I was having a whole... Wait, he did? Do I have one? I feel like I should have one. I think I have one.
I don't know. But Lady Mechanica is cool. He's now moved that over to Image Comics so that he can focus more on just doing the creating and not all the extra business side of things.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah, if you guys like steampunk and like just amazing art, not just art, but like design, like page layout, design, storytelling, like Joe's going to give you a ride. It's really good.
I think the only Lady Mechanica trades I'm missing that I have here is volume 2. So if somebody's like, hey, I want 1, 3, 4, and 5, let me know. I showed 3 and 4 last night. But here's Lady Mechanica volume 5. I'm really bad at French. La Belle Dame Sans Merci. $5. Lady Mechanica is going to Lorena. Again, I have 1, 3, 4, and 5 here if you're into that. Somebody asked me if I had some all ages books earlier in the day, so I grabbed one. Exactly one all ages book. Because I realized what times these shows were. So felt like maybe it would be less of a hit. But this is Miraculous, The Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, which is a big deal amongst the young set. $5. Preston, you're right. Lady Mechanica, I mean, again, I got number 1 like when it dropped. And then I waited, I feel like it was like 2 years. Do you remember, Tom?
Yeah, there was a delay in the original miniseries. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe had some troubles. I forget if it was with getting it printed or getting it finished, or I forget the whole story, but one way or the other, waited a long time, and it was really happy that I did.
Yeah, I would get them all just because they're $5 a piece, and those are like what, probably $15 books.
Between 10 and 20.
Yeah, for $5 a book, you're gonna want to grab them and then just go find yourself a number 2.
Yeah. Okay, Jeremy's right. 1 and 2 came out quickly, and then 3 was the one we had to wait for. I just remember sending one off to CGC on the slow boat to CGC and getting it back and still not having number 3. All right, Lorena. Here's a copy of number 4 for Lorena. I'll grab you number 5. And real fast, let me grab you a number 3 here. And there's a number 3. All right.
Yeah, you can't miss at $5 for those books. That's
right. And I'll be honest, like a lot of this stuff, like again, the prices I'm offering them for, I can only offer them because I bought a guy's entire booth at a convention, and this was the stuff I didn't want. Like, it's the stuff that I got basically thrown in. So I'm not into it very deep, so I can pass on the deals to you guys. All right. Linda Sedgwick. Stepan Sedgwick's
wife.
Wife.
Yep.
Bloodstain from Image Comics. Horror slice of life. Again, listen, if your last name is Cedric, you can draw. I think that's the rule. So the art in this is pretty incredible. I was flipping through it earlier. It has a really cool sort of like actual slice of life style. $5 on that. If you want Step and Cedric books, I do have some Sunstone here in the room right now. And everybody who's hearing me say that.
I just upgraded all my Sunstones to the hardcovers.
Yeah. We're just going, wait, Sunstone. Well, if you know, you know. Yep. Again, you don't generally get the adult content on Miss Jen's live shows. So the fact that I'm filling in means you might get some.
Yeah, but Sunstone is so much more than that. Like it's
really
such
is.
a well-written story. I can't even, it pisses me off.
Right.
It's so well done. And I comment on his stuff from time to time. I'm like, yo, because I follow him on Facebook and I'm like, yo, you're pissing me off, dude. Now I got to like up my game again because this is so good. It's just so well written and so well thought out and so well, received by that community. But then just beyond the community element of it, it's just like, this is just a great story.
No, it's true. And that's what I'm saying. Like Sunstone is not something you would generally see on a Mr. Jen show, but I bring it and I love Sunstone. So like, it's one of those, they're great stories, the great art. Yes, it's a little more adult, but it's not gratuitous. Sometimes we get these books that's gratuitous. It is well thought out and well done adult.
Yeah.
All right. Maria Lovett, Heartbeat. This is from Boom Studios. This book, I remember when it came out, got a ton of rave reviews. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Very simple book with a very deep and complex story. Very, very simple in terms of the way the book is laid out. The story is not uber complex, but it's still a really, really interesting and unique story. We were talking about Netflix earlier, and my parents are the kind that they have a Netflix account and they just listen to what Netflix tells them they'll like, and then they watch it.
Okay.
So they watched Suits on my recommendation because I thought they might like it. They like a procedural kind of lawyery show. And it recommended them the series that this next book is based on. And so they're watching it, and I just can't believe they like it. But then I got this book, and I started flipping through it going, well, maybe I need to watch this stupid show and read this comic.
Karate Kid? Is it Karate Kid? Be Karate
No.
Kid.
This book stars I'm going to forget his name. You'll tell me in a second. This is The Blacklist. The Arsonist, number 123.
That's Ultron, right? That's the guy that played Ultron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why they would like Blacklist if they liked that kind of stuff, for sure. Yeah. Because it's still a very FBI cop thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, have I offered a Marvel book yet this show, Tom?
Yeah, you had the Amazing Fantasy.
Oh, okay, that's true. James Spader, thank you. Well, it's time for a Marvel book. Collecting Guardians of the Galaxy 16 through 18, Cable Reloaded, The Last Annihilation, Wiccan and Hulkling, Last Annihilation, Wakanda and Sword, Al Ewing, Anthony Oliveira, Evan Narcissi, a bunch of other big names. This is the collected The Last Annihilation. For $5. So, Tom, you have a crowdfunding project coming up next month. You're telling me about. Tell everybody what's happening.
Yeah, I came across the notion that it's the 40th anniversary of the old Dirty Pair anime from 1985, and every now and then we kind of tap into some of those anniversary things and figure out how we can, kind of present our characters through them. So, like for our 10-year anniversary in 2020, it was the 25th anniversary of Showgirls movie. So what we did, and that's a Vegas movie, obviously. So we did a pinup book that basically told the story of Showgirls through brand new pinup art using our characters from Penny for Your Soul, which is also a Las Vegas book. So we've done some of those things over the years. We've done some homages and tributes, like to the Cannonball Run and things like that. So, but when I saw that it was the Dirty Pair's 40th anniversary, I kind of was like, well, how do we do this? And it actually came really quickly to me, because we have a couple of characters that have kind of teamed up in some of these tributes before, which is Critter and Chloe, our Blue Jay kind of superheroes. And I was like, well, we could just like do a Critter and Chloe story, and they would take the places of Yuri and Kai from the anime. And we could just do a little short story, which is, so it's a tribute to the original anime. It's a tribute. The story has a tribute to the Dirty Pair manga that Adam Warren has done for many, many years. And then it has two covers that are both homages to other things. So one of them is the homage to Adam Hughes and his cover for the Dirty Pair many years ago, which is like a $200 cover now, which in and of itself was an homage to an old Dave Stevens cover. Oh my God. And then we have another one, homage cover, which is to the J. Scott Campbell Danger Girl, where they have the silver dresses on. It's like a chromium cover. So we kind of did a tribute to the Dirty Pair using Critter and Chloe and homaging that cover. So this has been a lot of fun. And then Bun Leung actually just did a cover that uses some of the design aspect of like the old DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever. So we have that cover as well. So this was really fun. And we're going to launch it, I think right as we're doing Motor City, so that we can talk about it while we're at Motor City. But it was really fun. It was really fun to do. And then in June, we'll be doing our full-sized Penny for Your Soul 15-year anniversary series that we're doing throughout the year. So we'll have the first issue of that in June. So we'll be getting a little busy with cons and crowdfunding starting next month.
Very cool. Now, you do a lot of crowdfunding. We had talked a little bit earlier about how Tubi has a lot of great comic book documentaries.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And a few weeks ago, we did a show here on The Experience where we talked, inspired by a crowdfunding project that's out right now that some people found a little cringy, about a comic book documentary. But I don't want to get into that necessarily. But what are some things that you do when you crowdfund that kind of set your campaigns sort of apart from other people, that, are things that people can look for, to, for lack of a better term, know how legit, Big Dog Inc. is?
I mean, I think a lot of that is just the presentation. I've always been big on presentation. So even from the beginning, like when I started the company with my partner at the time, I was like, look, if we're going to do this artistically, we have to be able to put our books next to anything on the shelf, next to Marvel, next to DC, next to Image, and it has to hold up. And he was like, yeah, I agree. So right from the beginning, we have always been concerned with presentation, both covers and interiors. And we've worked with some of the best in the business, J. Scott Campbell, Ryan Otley, Joe Jusko. Like we've worked with some of the best right from the get-go. And so I think that when people see our books, they understand that we are giving them a quality product just right off the bat. It's just like, hey, look at what you're getting for supporting this Big Dog Ink book. You're going to get this great cover. Look at what the interiors are. And we don't do anything on an interior standpoint that we're not willing to do on a cover. So I think that's really the key. And then just within the presentation of the campaign itself, I do all of it again at the beginning of the show. It's like, I am Big Dog Ink. I do all of the graphics and the layouts and everything for the campaigns. And we've kind of, over the years, just kind of found a way to really streamline it, tighten it up, make it easy to understand. So there's really no questions anymore. Like, oh, I don't know where this is or how do I get it? It's like, no, it's right there. It's very, very simple. So I think that's kind of part of our success, is that people see what we're doing and there's not really a question, number one, that it's going to happen. We've fulfilled everything that we've done. We're not perfect. It's not like we haven't been late, but everything gets fulfilled. And our series continue on. So, as you're doing a book, hey, this is issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I think that shows the audience, the potential buyers, like, oh, this guy's been doing it for like a while. So clearly I can have a sense of being okay for, buying this, taking a risk, right? Because it's Kickstarter. But if you look at our track record, people will be like, oh yeah, this guy's fulfilled everything, and people keep coming back. So I'm going to feel comfortable, if I'm a new buyer with this particular creator. I think that kind of stuff goes a long way. And there's a lot of campaigns that I see that just the presentation's just not there. The structure, the building of the campaign, the images are too small, so on and so on and so on. Not to tear people down, but I think people need some critique on how they do it, and they could potentially level themselves up over time.
Mike, to answer your question, we always appreciate a super chat or a super sticker on YouTube. If you're looking to donate to me, don't worry about it. If you're looking to just donate some money because you have extra money laying around, donate to Hero Initiative, man, or Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. Those are two of my big passions. Hero Initiative helps old-timey creators who need help, or any creator who needs help with stuff. As they struggle sometimes financially. I got hooked up with them when Bill Messner-Loebs was homeless, helping Bill get sorted out. So Hero Initiative is great. Comic Book Legal Defense Fund is out here on the front lines fighting censorship and book bannings and all that kind of stuff. And I hate people who ban books. I want to punch them all in the face. So letting Jeff Trexler do that legally is a big thing I like. So, but any of those things, man, you can definitely do. I'm good though. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this again, obviously to make a few bucks, but like I get to hang out with my buddy Tom, not at convention. And we're not talking football, which is another thing Tom and I talk a lot, where we get sort of heated sometimes. So, any of those kind of things, I always appreciate being able to do. So
I'm still trying to put last season out of my brain, because the finale for me was so bad. Our fantasy league, like I was screaming into the finale, and then everything just collapsed on me.
I led almost wire to wire in that league, and then I fell apart in the last 3 weeks and barely made the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I made the playoffs for sure. I won my division and so on. But in the last game of the season, I had the opportunity to take the number 1 spot in the entire league as
From
well
me.
as the top point scoring of anyone in the league. And that game crapped the bed. I lost. And then I went into the playoffs in that first round, and my team crapped the bed again, back-to-back crap outs. And then we were done. So, oh man, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah. Yep. Always brutal in Tom's league. But let's get some books on the rack here. Garth Ennis, Goran's Suzuka. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal from AWA Upshot. This is a time travel romp that has some very Garth Ennis-y themes in it. If you know, you know. I feel like saying Garth Ennis-y themes really explains a lot more about a book than if I said, like on this one. This is Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev, International Iron Man. If I said this has Brian Michael Bendis tendencies, it doesn't mean the same. It doesn't have nearly the same connotation as Garth Ennis. Does it?
No.
But that's
and
$5.
Garth Ennis is one of the Tubi documentaries as well. So if you guys like Garth Ennis, there's a great one on him.
All right. Is Jeremy still here? Jeremy Shore, you probably can answer this question. I don't remember if these two books are volumes 1 and volume 2 back to back, or if they're two separate series. I think they're separate series, but maybe Jeremy, if he's still here, can answer. Maybe one of you guys can answer. This is Radiant Black, volume 2 by Kyle Higgins. It's going to be $5. And this says volume 1. Okay, it's not by Kyle Higgins. It's by Sean Chen. This is Radiant Red, volume 1.
Yeah, that's a different series. So yeah, Radiant Black series is the main. Yeah, Radiant Black is like the main universe book. Mm-hmm. And then they've done spin-offs. So Radiant Red is its own thing.
Yes, that's what I couldn't remember. So Radiant Red, those are $5 each. All right. Bill
very
Mesner,
Power Rangers. If you guys like Power Rangers, it's very Power Rangers mixed with a little sort of Invincible. So yeah.
That's a good way to put it, actually. I like that a lot. In terms of the way you're describing it, I think that's a really good way of putting it. To answer TJ, Bill is doing as well as can be expected for a man of his age with his physical conditions. I still see him at conventions. We still talk kind of regular. But, you know, Bill is someone who could have dealt with an easier time. I think it would have been nice for as nice a guy as he is to have gone through everything he's gone through. It's kind of a shame. But a lot of those guys from that era, man, went through it. I mean, Rich Buckler, you know, that guy's dementia was just devastating. So, like, you know, and Arvell and Keith and Al Milgram and, you know, these guys are still out here working.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Bill still writing?
No, not very much.
Okay.
He is still drawing. It takes him a while, but he is still drawing. I have a couple of Bill commissions. So, yeah. I suspect I'll see Bill probably at the end of the year in Grand Rapids. But I won't see him until probably then because I haven't seen him already. What up, David Moore? All right, guys, we'll give you another minute on these books. I'm going to grab a swig of water. And then Tom brought up Power Rangers. Ironically,
You got an omnibus
box. So we're going to do that here in just a half a second. Okay. I feel like I should go through the stack of Unclaimed here before the end of the show. For anybody who comes late, but we'll keep rolling for now. So we're going to start. This is a volume 5. I recognize that. But again, because these are trades, guys, like these are contained stories, right? Like you can jump into one of these because that was how it was kind of intended. Mighty Morphin, volume 5. It's going to be $5. And I'm putting it there on purpose. I know it's going to make Tom's OCD twitch just for a second. Power Rangers, volume 5. So now at the end of the rack, it'll say Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which will make me happy. David Moore, shipping is going to be media mail shipping. So I'm guessing, unless you buy a lot of weight, probably about $10. This is Matt Wagner. From 2022. There is actually a pull quote on here from Rock and Robbie, who some of you know from the channel, Pop Culture Philosophers. Beware the Eye of Odin. $5. And I don't know if these two people knew each other, but I'd like to think they did. This is published by Action Lab. This is Harold, Lovecraft and Tesla Tying the Knot. H.P. Lovecraft and Nikola Tesla are like a duo of detectives. I'd like to think those two guys knew each other. I don't even know if they were alive at the same time. Doesn't matter to me. Headcanon accepted.
That's like that history type of stuff that blows your mind. Like Pablo Picasso died in 1973.
Right.
Which means he was watching Super Bowls and like drinking Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? Like it's so weird to think about these guys living in any sort of modern era. Because we're kind of, for me anyway, it's like I hear these types of guys and I'm thinking like, what, 1800s are these dudes? And they're like, no, it's like 1970.
Well, it's like our 5th president, John Tyler. His grandson is still alive. Not his great-grandson, his grandson.
Yeah.
Now, I think his grandson's like 98 or 99, but still. Still alive, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give you guys another second on these while I ask Tom. Tom, you talked about rolling up on conventions.
Yep.
Spinning up on conventions. What shows are you doing? Where can people find you?
Well, we'll be at Motor City next month, and so Michigan people. That's near Detroit, and then we'll be up north at Traverse City for Cherry Capital Comic Con, and then the first weekend of June, I go to New York for the Ozstravaganza Festival that invites me out every year. And then about 2-3 weeks after that, I'll be in Albuquerque for Duke City Comic Con. And then that'll be it for a while until we get to the fall, and we'll be busy again in the fall.
Very cool. Bitter Root, Volume 3. I have 2 copies, $5 each. Well, and Tom and I always run into each other at one of the great small conventions, I think, in the country. Monroe Comic-Con.
Yeah. Which is going to be littered with Big Dog Inc. people this time. Because I'm there. Gary's given us a little extra space, so we're going to have a big BDI booth. CB Zane is going to be sitting with me. Chris Enott is going to be coming sitting with me. And then also Dan Mendoza and Bill McKay are going to be there. And they're their own guys, of course, but they've both worked for Big Dog Inc. on a bunch of stuff as well. So it's going to be a very BDI heavy year this year, which will be fun.
Well, and of course, the ever present at that show, James O'Barr will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of other great creators. And they've started announcing their media guests. The cool thing about Monroe, guys, is they don't spend a ton of money on media guests. They bring in really great comic book guests every year. But the show is super affordable if you're in this part of the world. To go to. So like I think their big media guest is the original Black Ranger, Walter, I can't remember his last name. Walter Jones. You know, like it's always somebody like that, which is super fun. But they do a great show. I'm always a big sponsor of that show. The EXP has sponsored that show. The last 2 or 3 years, we've sponsored the cosplay contest here from the EXP. So, like, we always have a big booth, always do a big show there. But, yeah, Monroe is one of the great small conventions in the world, in the country.
This is like their 13th year or 14th year or something.
Yeah, something
like they've been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Gary is doing a pro wrestling show coming up in May that I'm sponsoring. That's going to be super fun. They have killer wrestlers coming. All right. For those of you who don't know, Michigan, Ohio, you know, this area might be the place to be for comic books right now. Like there is a lot of great stuff coming out of this area, including Source Point Press.
Indiana, and there's conventions everywhere.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
You know, Michigan, Chicago, Indiana. I mean, there's just conventions everywhere all the time. Astronomicon is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all the time.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so this is from Sumerian. I know nothing about this book, but I think I read issue 1 when it came out. Yeah. Story and art by Eduardo Schall. This is Quad number 1. Quad volume 1. Just to give you a look at the art inside.
Feels
real kind of
manga-esque.
Mm-hmm. A lot of ink wash, kind of gouache style. Very fun there. It's going to be $5. From Udon and Capcom.
Oh, you got some Street Fighter?
Yep, Street Fighter. This is Street Fighter Volume 1 Random Select. Street Fighter Volume 1 Random Select. It'll be $5. All right. This is from the Buffy universe. But when I show you this cover, you're going to be like, what in the hell? Because I had to like triple check that this is actually from the Buffy universe. Because this cover just had me that freaked out. But this is of the age when IDW still had the light bulb logo.
Sure.
That gives you an indication as to how long ago. This is Spike Shadow Puppets.
Oh, yeah, and they look like Muppets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That cover just had me freaking out for a second. $5 on that one. Mark Millar, Wilfredo Torres. This thing should have got more seasons than it got. Jupiter's Legacy Volume 2. $5 on that. All right, guys, we're coming down to it. We probably got about a half hour left here in the show. After this, there will be an hour break here on the Experience before Mel and Mog come on. Sketch up with Mel and Mog. They always have some great guests, and you can watch art be created live in real time and bid on that art. So you can claim it as you can bid on it as we go, and really enjoy that process. Mel and Mog always have an unhinged interview. A couple weeks ago we were talking about where Mad Cow came from. What that had to do with comics, I don't know.
Mad Cow?
Yep.
Okay.
I
know Top Cow. I don't know what Mad Cow is.
Disease.
Okay. I don't know how that relates to comics.
Right, neither do I, but that was the topic on the show that night.
There's Top Cow, and then there's Mad Cave. So if you combine the two, you can get Mad Cow comics. Right,
if they did a crossover, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that wasn't at all what they were talking about. So again, you never know what that show is going to be any given week when you turn in, but it's always an interesting time. All right. I just got a ping from Mel. His ears must have been burning knowing that we were talking about him. So I'll give you guys a second on this while I check. All right. I will talk to him later about that. All right, good. We're good. All right. Last call on these guys. We're gonna pick it up here. Pick up the pace here. Get through the last of this box, and then we'll probably call it a little bit early. Let Tom get back to doing the important work that Tom does, which is reminding me what's good and what's not in pop culture. Or studying for the NFL draft early so they can beat me in fantasy football.
Yeah, I just got hooked into a new draft or a new league this year. It's a legacy league. Ooh. So you get to keep some of your players from season to season. I've never played one of those before, so it should be interesting.
Well, in your league, we can't because most of the time we wind up drafting guys that only play one season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do a complete reboot of the whole thing every year anyway.
Right.
We do some kind of weird point thing to, like this year our kickers were, and it didn't really affect play as much as I thought, but we were giving kickers like 10 points for a field goal. And I was like, oh, this is going to change the game, but it didn't really. In fact, this year we had so many guys that were like missing field goals.
Right.
That was really more affecting it. It was the negative points.
It's true. All right. This is Rick Remender and Andre Lima Arado. This is A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, Volume 1. It'll be $5 if you like Rick Remender. That is a fun kind of, what's the wrong for? Vigilante revenge story. James Tinian, Something is Killing the Children, Volume 3. Something is Killing the Children, Volume 3. It's going to be $5. Declan Shelby and Rory McConville from Image Comics. Time Before Time, Volume 1. is going to be $5. That's a time travel mystery book from Declan Shelby. And BPRD, The Devil You Know. Mike Mignola, Scott Alley, Lawrence Campbell, all the greats that worked on BPRD and Hellboy are in this book. This is a big, thick one. $10.
I wondered what would happen if I were to ever pitch something to Image again now that I've got a little, time under my belt. They say getting into Image is harder than it's ever been because you kind of have to really know somebody or have been around for a period of time. But now that I've got 15 years and I've worked with some of their guys,
might be worth it.
Maybe the door would be a little more open because it was closed shut on me at the beginning. But in all fairness, it should have been completely shut on me at the beginning. So,
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like I've heard that story from a lot of people where, Jim Valentino or one of those guys just was very blunt and was like, you aren't ready.
Yeah.
You come back when you're somebody. Come back.
Yeah, really. I mean, I don't even think you have to be somebody. I think you just have to have a track record. And even if that's doing it yourself, hey, I've done this for so long. Look, I've put out so many issues. Like I know how to do this. So if I come in and you guys let me in, I'm not going to stink the joint up.
Right. To answer your question, Preston, why do I think Rick Remender isn't more well-known or more popular? I think it's because a lot of people remember Rick Remender, the artist, not Rick Remender, the writer. Because Rick was an artist before he was a writer. So I think there's sort of a disconnect between people who knew him as an artist and people who now are discovering him as a writer. But I also think when you spend all of your time sort of doing your own thing, even when you're at Marvel, to the point where people at Marvel are going, hey, it's not our jam. What are you doing? I think that might have some effect too, right? I mean, because his Captain America was great, but it was nothing like the Captain America they were trying to publish at the time. BPRD goes to Nope, as does Time Before Time. All right. From the world of Hellboy, the BPRD Omnibus Volume 3. Again, this is Mike Mignola, John Arcudi, Guy Davis, and Dave Stewart. Omnibus Volume 3. It's going to be $10. These BPRD omnibuses are one of the best ways, I think, to get BPRD at this point. It's getting so hard to get. Single issues, unless they're new. Here's another Rick Remender, though. This is Low. Another Rick Remender. I can't remember how to say the artist's name. Tocchini, something like that. $5. Yeah, nope. You'll like Time Before Time. Yeah, no, I think you're right there, Tom. This sort of idea of going out and establishing that you know what you're doing. Being able to prove that you can crowdfund. Like a lot of publishers are looking for that now when you go to them and say, hey, I have an idea for one of your IP, or hey, I want to pitch this idea to you.
Well, and that's what happened when I went with Dynamite with Bad Kitty. Is I just talked to Nick Barucci, and literally the pitch was, "So do you want some Bad Kitty?" He was like, "Okay." And so I just kept talking. I was like, "Well, here's what I'd want to do. Like, I want to do it this way and this way and so on." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that." I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." So it was really easy. But the point is, I think, is that he also knew who I was sort of tangentially with Big Dog Inc. or whatever. And so he was like, "Oh, well, this is not just some guy off the street going, oh, I want to make, one of your books." He understood that I knew what I was doing as far as making a book. And so that's really what kind of allowed me to sort of kick the door open.
Right. And I think that idea of, again, like, who also sort of matters.
Oh, for sure. Of course. No question.
Like, again, it's, I don't know, again, what that looked like, but the fact that, you're friends with Jen and me and Jesse and all of these people.
Yep.
Who Nick is also friends with. It's like, oh, Tom is good people and he knows what he's doing. And Bad Kitty is a license to print money. I mean, it's an IP that is going to have a lot of appeal to our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just makes sense. So I think that certainly helps. So.
Yeah. And he's already given me the okay to do something else over there too. I just have to get time in my schedule to do it. So probably next year, I think we'll probably have my next Dynamite thing through them. Now, again, the world is bizarre in comics right now with all the distribution stuff and all of that. But even when we did Bad Kitty, it was just a crowdfunder thing. So I would assume that's what we would do again, is just run it through crowdfunding. So I definitely want to get to it because I think it's going to be a cool book.
For sure. And Preston, I can give you an answer sort of on Tinian's TV stuff, but it's a convoluted inside baseball answer that is not necessarily interesting. All right. This is from Black Mask Studios. It's a series that I quite enjoyed. And what's interesting is that one of the pull quotes on the back is from this guy named David Pepose when he was still in comic book journalism before he had ever written a book. He was reviewing this book. This is Beautiful Canvas. It's going to be $5. We have another fantasy romance from Top Cow. It is another Linda Sedgwick book. This is Punderworld. Underworld. Punderworld. Again, it's a fantasy romance from Linda Sedgwick. I thought the art in it looked interesting. That's why I grabbed it. Very much had that style. Okay. Kieran Gillen. Jamie McKelvey. This is Phonogram, Rue Britannia. This is volume 1 of Phonogram from Image Comics. I really liked this series as well. But Kieran Gillen could basically write paint drying and I would read it. I just grabbed this book for the cover. I'll be real honest. I know nothing about it. It's signed by Mike Wolfer.
Is this some of the American Entertainment or whatever they're called stuff?
This is Boundless Comics.
Oh, Boundless. Oh, that's right. He worked for Boundless. That's right.
Right. I do not know that this is the Boundless that a lot of us are going to know when we think about Boundless comics. But this is War Goddess hardcover.
Yeah.
And it is signed. So that's going to be, again, that was a real expensive book. So we're going to do $15 on that.
Yeah, those hardcovers are going to be very limited editions for sure.
Yeah, they're crazy limited because, again, signed, and it was an expensive hardcover to begin with. So we're going to do that one at $15. That is every bit of a Triple B book, by the way, if you know Triple B. We all know Triple B here. I don't know why I would say if you know Triple B, but, you know.
It's a quadruple B because it's also Boundless Comics.
It's true. All right. I've got 3 books left. In one of these books, Tom, I saw the signature on the cover and went, wait, Tom's not an artist. And had to double check that it wasn't you. So we'll show that in just a second. But while we give people another second on these books, where can people follow you? Where can people follow Big Dog Inc.? How can they support you and the work you do?
Yeah, so bigdoginc.com, that'll take you right to our web store. We do trade paperbacks for everything. So like we were talking about earlier with some of our early books, the issues are just gone. You can find them on eBay from time to time. Some of it's getting a little pricey, but you can find them on eBay if you're looking for single issues. But if you just want the stories like we're doing here, we have trade paperbacks for everything. You can catch up really easy. We also have whatever's left on variant covers, things that we do. So that's bigdoginc.com. And then for the most part, we do most of what we do on Facebook. So you can follow me. We also have a page on Facebook for Big Dog Inc. And then wherever you do social media, Twitter and Instagram and all of that, you can find us on all of those places. And we do Kickstarters. We usually do about 6 to 8 Kickstarters a year. So if you're a Kickstarter person, crowdfunding, you can find us there, follow me, and you'll get the updates for when we do new stuff. And then Patreon is the one that I always forget to tell people that we do, but we've got almost 50 people on our Patreon now, where we do. It's really great if you are either you want to see everything first, because that's what we do. We show everything that we're doing there first, from art to lines to colors to logos to, just kind of telling you what's coming. You get all the advance notice. And then, but it's also great if you're like a creator and you kind of want to watch how we do it. Like we're talking about, I've been doing this for 15 years. So I have a methodology of how I do these things. And if you want to kind of just watch how we do things at Big Dog Inc., it's a great thing for creators as well as fans too. And yeah, Preston, our next Kickstarter is next month, about the middle of the month. We're doing our Dirty Pair anime homage called Critter and Chloe. That'll just be a short story, little fun thing. And then we do our big Penny for Your Soul 15-year anniversary book in June. And then we'll have more throughout the year, but those are our next 2.
Awesome. All right.
Oh, and Preston, you were talking about Oz. We are doing our first ever omnibus book in September. So Legend of Oz Omnibus, it will collect the first 4 volumes in one big book. It'll be our first ever omnibus. There'll be a soft cover and a hardcover version. So that'll be September.
All right. We're down to 3 trades left.
Did you get that War Goddess claim?
I did not. I will grab it right now. You got it. You got it, Mike. The Sunstones are paperbacks, TJ. I don't have any Sunstone hardcovers for sale. tonight for no reason other than if I had them, I'd be keeping them. Like you guys know,
the original hardcovers are out of print. They're kind of hard to find, but the new hardcovers have better covers on them. So there is that.
Yeah, no, you guys know this. I mean, if there was some stuff in this that I definitely kept for me, and a lot of it's the more artistic or artsy, like the drawn in quarterlies, the Fantagraphics kind of stuff that are maybe not as commercially, I don't know, popular. I don't know what the word is for that. But, you know, the little more obscure stuff I kept for myself. Maybe esoteric is the word. To read first. For instance, in this inventory I brought over tonight, I'll just show you guys. I pulled this out, and I took a picture of it and put it on the internet. But I might read this between now and Mel and Mog's show. This is Brooklyn Gladiator by Dan Fogler. Like, that's the back cover. Like, I kind of want to read this book. The pitch is Brooklyn Gladiator is like a cross between Brave New World and Escape from New York, written by Hunter S. Thompson and directed by late 80s Paul Verhoeven. It's a bullet-riddled thrill ride through a dark, foreboding future you'll pray never comes to pass. An ominous, in-your-face urban sci-fi parable where you can almost hear the villains chanting, "Warriors, come out and play." So, I want to read it first.
That looks like something Simon Beasley would do.
It does look like something Sim would do, but it's Tom Hodges. All right, this is the one where I saw the Hutchison written on the cover and went, "Wait a minute, this is a different guy." This is from Antarctic Press.
Antarctic Press. I was going to say, yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah.
Tomorrow Girl versus Carmen America. Red, White, and Bruised.
Yeah, he's actually, I believe, Hutchinson.
Oh, okay.
He's got a middle N.
All right. I couldn't read it. It's not clearly written. I'm just like, Hutchison, got it.
That I can't help you with as far as the writing, but yeah, Hutchinson, he's been part of Antarctic Press for forever. Yeah.
All right. This is a more of a rarity. I mean, not at the time, but it is now. Interiors by Alex Ross. Written by Chris Roberson. Masks from Dynamite.
Oh yeah. That's all the old Golden Age stuff brought modern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be $10. And the last book we have, the writer on this joined us very early on in our existence as the EXP. And this book was the book that was coming out at the time. So this book has come out, gotten into trade, and somehow gotten into this collection. And I'm going to sell it at a discount now. All the time the experience has existed. Written by Jeremy Holt with art by George Shaw. This is Made in Korea. It's going to be $5. All right. Guys, that's going to be the last of the books for tonight. We're almost out of time anyway. So if you see something, Lorena is going to grab Masks. You got it, Lorena? All right. So we got Made in Korea and Tomorrow Girl versus Common America left on the board. Thank you, Tom, for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always cool to talk comics.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom does live sales over on Comic Book Shopping Network.
Sundays and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then I do a Tuesday show in the afternoon live from the Comic Signal in Grand Rapids.
Very fun. I'm starting to do shows over on Comic Book Shopping Network. If you're not a member, head over to Facebook and just search Comic Book Shopping Network. Answer all the questions and you can join up there. You do have to answer questions. It is a Facebook group to get approved. But there are great sellers from all over the country over there.
Yeah.
Like I said, including me. I will be on there from like midnight to 2 a.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. With a lot of this stuff you've seen, plus some stuff you haven't. Following Mel and Mog's show. So make sure you tune in for that. And then in about an hour from now, join Mel and Mog on SketchUp here on the EXP. They will have great artist guests joining them, as always. And I will be pressing the buttons. So I should probably do this. There we go. Bring myself back on screen. Make me and Tom the same size. Thank you very much for being here, guys. If you bought stuff tonight and you have an outstanding invoice, I will add this stuff to your invoice. Unless you tell me not to in the form. If you could fill out the form that is up above in the chat or is right here, bit.ly/kicking it live, which is, of course, Henri's show, but Henri's letting me borrow his form. So thank you once again to Tom. Thank you to everybody for being here. Stay tuned. In 1 hour, Sketch Up with Mel and Mog. We will see everybody next time. Oh, I have to end the stream. There we go. Click. See you guys.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.